This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, so true that I could have never even said it better myself. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. No doubt about that. Anyways, today is Friday, November the 14th of 2025, day 318th of the year, and only 47 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, that's what we do. We hang out with those people. We hang out with them. They hang out with us. It's kind of a circle thing that we get to do together. No doubt about that. So anyways, how's the last 24 hours or so been for you? Hopefully they've been fantastic, to say the least. Fantastic. Yes, that is my dream sequence for you. Would be fantastic. So let's talk. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's what this show consists of. So as we will talk about these things today, don't worry, because we're going to do the week review. We're going to talk about the stuff that we missed because it's Freeform Friday, and we'll get through all of the stuff that we needed to play catch up on. So don't worry about any of that stuff. Outside of that, here's the other side of the equation. As we're going to be doing weekend review, we'll bring in some professional newscasters. They'll talk along about what the hell's going on, because that's going to be important. I always think it is important for them to talk. And then if you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process on doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging, those are the options of once you get there, and then we move from there. Gives all kinds of stuff that's going on inside of the world of the multiverse.
New to this radio show? We want to welcome you to your new addiction.
I don't know if it's an addiction, but it'll definitely be something. So let's do this because, it's weekend review day. So let's go ahead and do it in this formation.
President Trump appearing now to be facing the reality that food prices are too damn high. The Trump administration is preparing exemptions on certain tariffs in an effort to ease those costs, like coffee, fruit, possibly beef, is where the discussions may be.
The government shutdown is officially over. After 43 days, the president signed a bill last night to reopen the government.
Today in Houston, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem handing out $10,000 bonuses to TSA agents, who she says went above and beyond working through the shutdown without pay.
To those new questions about President Trump's relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a new batch of private emails released by Democratic lawmakers on Wednesday, Epstein alleges Trump, quote, knew about the girls, though it's not clear exactly what that means.
That's a long time. Jimmy Kimmel Live, his band leader, his name is Cleto Escobedo. He's the third. Kimmel became very emotional last night as he announced that Escobedo, his longtime friend, has died.
We've been on the air for almost 23 years, and I've had to do some hard monologues along the way, but this one's the hardest.
Imagine if the air we all breathe suddenly turned toxic. That was the reality today for so many in Weatherford, Oklahoma, after a tanker truck carrying ammonia gas started leaking dangerous chemicals.
After more than 230 years in circulation, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia pressing the last ever American penny.
We're saying goodbye to the penny today.
U.S. Treasurer Brandon Beach on hand for the historic moment as production of the 1-cent coins officially comes to an end.
So there you go. We can review right there as we are doing our gig. But don't worry, we're still going to do all of our traditional stuff as I play catch up and everything else that's going on. And I'm not talking about like catch up like the tomato stuff. I'm talking about like catch up in regards to what's going on. So I still have my friends hanging out here from Feature Story News. They're wanting to talk, chat, and give you a little bit of the stuff that is going on. So if you're good with it, I'm good with it, and we can start moving on into Feature Story News right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in the UK, I'm John Beaver. The BBC's apologised to Donald Trump over the selective editing of a speech in a Panorama documentary. The corporations admitted it made it look like he was calling for violence ahead of the raid on the US Capitol, but says it strongly disagrees there's a basis for financial compensation. Lawyers acting for President Trump have threatened to sue the British broadcaster unless it issues a retraction, apologises and compensates him. The scandal has led to the resignation of the BBC's Director General and Head of News. Professor Richard Tate used to chair the Editorial Standards Committee on the BBC Trust. He believes the BBC is right to apologise.
There is an issue which is beyond the legalities, which is that President Trump has form in suing major broadcasters. He's sued ABC News, he's sued CBS in the States. And in both those cases, although a lot of people think that the broadcasters had an arguable case, they settled with him.
4 people have died after a wave of Russian attacks on the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. At least 27 people were also injured in what's been described as a massive attack involving more than 400 drones and at least 18 missiles. Investigations into a deadly blast in New Delhi have now entered their 4th day. Police have identified a key suspect, a doctor, who was driving the car that exploded on Monday evening close to the iconic Red Fort, killing 13. Neha Punia reports from New Delhi.
A day after police teams reportedly identified the prime suspect in the Delhi explosion case, we've now seen search operations take place at the university where he worked. He was a junior professor at a university in the neighbouring state of Haryana. The same university saw some doctors being arrested and detained just hours prior to the blast, and bomb-making material was found on them. We've also seen police teams identify shops where explosive materials were bought, and experts say police teams are now trying to ascertain if all of this is part of a bigger network aimed at radicalizing professionals.
After months of fierce debate, the German government has agreed on a plan to boost troop numbers. William Denslow reports.
Under the plan, all 18-year-old men will have to fill out a questionnaire to determine their eligibility to serve in the army, and by 2027 be mandated to undergo a medical check too. Germany currently has roughly 180,000 troops, but hopes to boost that to more than 255,000 in the next decade. The proposal does not include compulsory enlistment, but the government says that it could be considered by Parliament if its targets aren't met.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. We haven't spoken about North Korea for a while, and it was notable that when President Trump travelled to Asia last month, while he professed the hope that he might meet Kim Jong-un while he was in the region, no meeting with the dictator in Pyongyang materialised. During the first Trump administration, there were, of course, 3 meetings between the two leaders, but since then, the US relationship with North Korea has atrophied, and Kim has tried to warm his relations with Russia and China instead. So what's going on in an isolated Pyongyang? Jean Lee is a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace.
Right now, Kim Jong-un's strategy is to align with Russia and China. These are transactional, at least with Russia, it's a transactional relationship that has been very beneficial, very strategic for him to, when he has something to offer that to Putin in exchange for whatever he's getting that he needs. But I wouldn't say that's a final decision on his part. I do think that he is trying to skillfully play all these neighbors off one another, and that he will want to use President Trump's second term as an opportunity at some point to pivot back and take advantage of the relationship that they built.
President Trump, before visiting Asia last month, indicated there were difficulties even contacting Kim Jong-un. He suggested the process is much more complicated today than it was the last time he was in the Oval Office. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, the BBC's apologised to Donald Trump over the selective editing of a speech in a Panorama documentary. The corporation's admitted it made it look like he was calling for violence, but says it strongly disagrees there's a basis for financial compensation. 4 people have died after a wave of Russian attacks on the Ukrainian capital Kyiv. And after months of fierce debate, the German government has agreed on a plan to boost troop numbers. That's the latest feature story news. John Beaver reporting.
Radio.
We all want to make sure that our family is protected in medical emergencies. What many of us don't realize is that health insurance won't always cover the full amount of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with high deductibles and copays. That's why an Air Medcare Network membership is so important. As a member, if an emergency arises, you won't see a bill for air medical transport when flown by an AMCN provider. Best of all, a membership covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. AMCN providers are called upon to transport nearly 100,000 patients a year. This is coverage no family should go without. Now, as a Jay Allen Show listener, you'll get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. Simply visit airmedcarenetwork.com/safety and use the offer code SAFETY. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally,
Since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
With streams so crisp that you can feel the sarcasm in your ear holes. Radio Big.
Oh, you know how it is. Sarcasm and ear holes is a great combination of things to talk about. No doubt about that. So there you go. Anyways, let's get into all of the stuff that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is kind of how we do our thing here. No doubt about that. So let's get into it. There's a lot of stuff that's happened from yesterday to today, no doubt. But I don't know where to start. I never know where to start. Should it be serious? Should it be exciting? Should it just be kind of chaotic? Never know. So let's talk about this. We'll get off right off the bat with this. Civil rights icon Reverend Jesse Jackson has been hospitalized in Chicago with few details released about the current condition. The 84-year-old was admitted to the Northwestern Memorial Hospital and is being monitored for progressive Spanier-Newritis palsy? The degenerative neurological disorder that has been managing for more than a decade at this point. He originally was diagnosed with Parkinson's before the doctor confirmed PSP earlier this year. Also, in some other news, let's talk about this one as we are going on. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman was rushed to the Pittsburgh hospital yesterday morning after collapsing near his home in Braddock. His team says that he suffered a ventricular arrhythm trauma, a dangerous abnormal heart rhythm that can trigger sudden cardiac arrest. This episode made him lightheaded, causing him to fall on and hit his face. Though the injuries were described as minor, despite the scare, Fetterman kept his trademark dark humor, joking, "If you thought my face looked bad before, wait until you see it now." A sign that he's alert and in decent spirits. This comes on the heels of years of high-profile health battles. Fetterman memoir Unfettered details the 2020 stroke that nearly ended his Senate run, the emergency surgery to remove a blood clot and a pacemaker that followed, and the brutal depression that hit during the recovery and media scrutiny. He admits that he paused through the campaign while struggling through the process, and now says that looking back, I should have quit. For now, doctors are monitoring his latest heart complications as he recovers. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there as we are talking. No doubt about that. So a lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse as we are doing our thingo. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about. What do you think? Also, some other stuff happening. Let's talk about this real quick. DOJ sues California over redistricting effort, calling it a power grab. The Justice Department just hauled California into court, claiming that the state newly voter-approved congressional maps are unconstitutional. No, seriously, not a joke there. Let's see. This is driven by Well, it says racially driven by grab. Here are the quick breakdown. California's passed Governor Newton's Proposal 50, a redistricting measure that pitched a counterstrike to Texas, where lawmakers pushed through a mid-cycle redraw that boosts Republicans from going into 2026. The president says that his allies blasted California's move, while Democrats said that they're trying to protect the state's representation and accuse the president of pressuring Texas to tilt the House map. Now, federal prosecutors say that California crossed the constitutional line. The DOJ argues that the new maps deliberately boosted Hispanic voting power because of race, violating the 14th Amendment. Attorney General Pam Bondi called the plan a brazen power grab designed to cement one-party rule. The suit asked the court to block the maps for 2026 and beyond. This all comes as Texas new maps are projected to hand Republicans 5 more seats inside of the House. California, with 52 districts, heavily Democrat, answered it with its own redraw, triggering the amounts of national gerrymandering arms to the race heading into the next year's, or to the next midterms, better saying. Newsom's response to the lawsuit, vintage California flamethrowing. These losers lost on the ballot box, and soon they will lose in court. So there you go. Some stuff always going on as we are talking. No doubt about that one. Duh. In some other news, BBC tells Trump sorry but rejects his $1 billion demand. The BBC has officially apologized to President Trump for what it now admits that it was an error of judgment in the way that it edited the clip of the speech from the day of the Capitol riot. The segment aired in 2024 Panorama documentary, and according to the network, the edit could have been misleading, suggesting that the president was calling for violence. Trump had threatened a $1 billion lawsuit demanding a retraction, an apology, and compensation. The BBC pushed back on defamation claims, saying that it regrets but doesn't believe that it rises to the level of libel. The broadcaster says that the episode will not air again. This comes after 2 top executives at BBC, the director of general and the head of news, resigned amid criticism of the network political coverage, including reporting on Trump. So there you go. Some stuff will definitely change there as we are talking. Also, in some other news, a federal judge in Chicago, Jeffrey Cummings, appointed by President Joe Biden, has ordered the release of hundreds of migrants who were arrested during the Trump administration immigration enforcement sweep known on Operation Midway Blitz. Judge Cummings mandated that the release of 13 detainees immediately because of their arrest clearly violated a 2022 consent decree governing now warrants and probable cause must be handled. The order of the Department of Homeland Security and related agencies to review about 615 detainees by specified date to determine who qualifies for the bond of alternative detention instead of full custody. The ruling is grounded in the findings of federal agents and arrests without warrant or proper documentation in violation of the consent decree in Illinois and the surrounding states. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on as we are talking. No doubt about that as we are doing some stuff. So what do you think about all this stuff? I mean, it's a little bit of everywhere, everything, all at one time, no doubt there. Duh. So let's just keep that in mind. Okay, so take a listen to this one. 2 women, one in Chicago and another in Virginia, say that they struck a rich after asking ChatGPT to pick the lottery numbers for them, sparking debate over whether AI can actually predict a win. Tammy Carvey, 45, from Michigan, won $100,000 in September after using ChatGPT to generate Powerball numbers. Just 2 days later, retiree Carrie Edwards in Virginia did the same thing and pocketed $150,000, initially thinking that the alert on her phone was a scam. In Italy, 3 university students also claimed that $50,000 after developing their own AI based on number picking algorithm. The Mega Million jackpot climbs to $1 billion. AI-generated lottery tickets are becoming a viral trend, spawning apps like Lottery AI, Lottery Picker AI, but experts are throwing cold water on the hype. Data scientist Kata Ruska, who tested AI predictive power herself, said bluntly, AI isn't magic wand. No model can reliably predict a jackpot. Well, no shit. I mean, I don't think that is anything that's off kilter here, because here's what's going to end up happening. You know that these machines where you get the lottery tickets from, they're doing just random pull anyways when you're actually picking numbers. So how is this any different in that particular regards? I don't know. I mean, listen, let people believe that their odds are good for them. When you start thinking about it and you realize, hey, you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning, and it has a different qualifier than anything else. I would think about it in a different format, opposed to just saying, hey, things are great here.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so there you go. French student. Okay, hold on. A 19-year-old French engineer student, Oscar Dalati, just obliterated the Guinness World Record by riding continuous bike wheelie for more than 93 miles. He spent 6 hours, 31 minutes indoor track, cranking out 752 laps without letting the front of the wheel kiss the ground, beating the old record by over 43 miles. Why did he do this? Because he thinks it's fun. Though he admits that his backside disagrees for about a week. This isn't Oscar's first stunt either. He already holds a wheelie record for the longest one-handed and longest continuous without the front wheel. He trained hard more than a year, 10-15 hours a week, using basic commuter bike with a slight seat adjustment, helmet, chest camera, hydration pack, and because style matters, Nike basketball high tops instead of the cycling shoes. The average 14 mile per hour, which is wild considering that he did it balancing it on one wheel. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you start thinking about the whole thing. So there you go. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about this? What do you think about all this stuff when it comes to these world records? How important are they? So there you go. Take a listen to this one. A man in Russia went truly to Olympic level lengths to avoid going on a shopping trip with his wife. Instead of faking a headache like a normal human, he faked a carjacking. Seriously. Back in April, his wife called the police to report the Toyota Corolla stolen from their home parking lot. Later, she called again and they said that they found it, that the missing car was on Otskaka Island. Yeah, police arrived and saw that the busted ignition and forced entry at first looked legit, but once they questioned the husband, his story fell apart like a cheap knockoff purse that he probably would have been forced to carry around. Investigators eventually concluded that he damaged his own car and staged the whole thing to dodge a mall trip. Now, instead of wandering around a shopping center, for 2 miserable hours, he's facing 2 years in prison for filing a false police report and plus a travel ban. So on the bright side, prison has 0 couple shopping days. So I guess you should look at that as the bonus there. So there you go. Anyways, take a listen to this one. A Chinese influencer named Andy Tao Tian has been fake fitness to level nobody asked for, unable to build abs the old-fashioned way, by doing actual sit-ups. He spent over $500,000 injecting hyaluronic acid into his body to create a synthetic 8-pack. He told the followers that 20% of his body is now hyaluronic acid after dropping 4 million won. That's $562,000 on 40 rounds of injections across his shoulders, chest, collarbones, and stomach. He even bragged that now he's a coward because the number of needles that he's endured. Seriously. Let's see. What else did he say? Howe also said that his fake abs hold up for up to 3 years. He'll apply for Guinness World Records for the longest lasting artificial abs and even promised a live stream where he cracks walnuts on his stomach. Experts, meanwhile, are throwing major red flags on long-term risk of the bone erosion, muscle weakness, and blood vessel damage, the shifting acid pouches. He says that he doesn't care. His goal is 10,000 injections, and he claims that he's already 40% there. This chemical inflated 8-pack is reportedly the first of its kind in China, and while some people call him an inspiration for hacking fitness, there's another note that are keeping his looks more than simply than going to the gym. I don't know. I look at it, there's so many things. Because listen, this is a level of body dysmorphia when it comes to it. It's what you see that reflects back from the mirror. Some people don't see it the same way that other people see it, and that's what it ends up boiling down to, and people start losing it.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
I mean, I don't know. Some comments, of course, are like his abs aren't washboards or Tupperware, but we'll leave it at that. So leave it as we go. Okay, so let's continue talking as we are looking around and hanging out 29 minutes into this little shindig that we have going on right here. So, you want to hear this? Your best friend might be a stranger. New research of modern friendship shows that 54% of people have best friends they've never met, someone they talk to online more than people they actually talk to in a city. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think about old style school radio shows. You know, when like the internet was not super as popular like it is now and all these dating apps and all this. I remember listening to radio shows thinking where I have these quote unquote friendship with people that, and I look at it from a weird standpoint because you knew so much about their life. How else would you kind of determine that? But you knew so much about them. It's like, oh, this is my friend, but they have no idea who the hell on the planet you are. Yeah, that's kind of where that falls into some of this stuff. Okay, take a listen to this. Dropping temperatures trigger hormonal changes that increase hunger while decreasing fullness signals, making people feel less satisfied after eating. So guess what happens during the winter season? Oh, yes, you gain some weight. Because some stuff is going on. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about. No doubt about that. Okay, a new relationship survey found that 62% of people admit that they sleep better alone, but 78% of people say that they actually ask their partner to for a separate bed because it feels like the relationship paperwork they don't want to fill out. So there you go. There you go. What do you think? Do you like sleeping in a bed with someone or do you like sleeping by yourself? I'm just asking. I mean, it's kind of part of the stuff. I don't know. Everybody likes things differently. I will tell you that when I sleep by myself, I sleep diagonally on the bed, which is people get freaked out if they ever walk in. I don't know why it's kind of freaky. I think it's fine, but whatever. It's one of those things that happens. Anyways, talking about some news of the weird here. According to Verizon data, the average man takes 16 hours to reply to a text message if he's unsure about. He's not ghosting. He's just rereading it 47 times trying to come up with something witty. That's why you see a lot of things of where people are using ChatGPT to give answers. I know I don't do it, but some people do. That's kind of the way that it goes. Anyways, during our normal show, this would be the main story time, but guess what? It's Freeform Friday, so we're getting back into the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in the UK, I'm John Beaver. The BBC's apologised to Donald Trump over the selective editing of a speech in a Panorama documentary. The corporations admitted it made it look like he was calling for violence ahead of the raid on the US Capitol, but says it strongly disagrees there's a basis for financial compensation. Lawyers acting for President Trump have threatened to sue the British broadcaster unless it issues a retraction, apologises and compensates him. The scandal has led to the resignation of the BBC's Director General and Head of News. Professor Richard Tate used to chair the Editorial Standards Committee on the BBC Trust. He believes the BBC is right to apologise.
There is an issue which is beyond the legalities, which is that President Trump has form in suing major broadcasters. He's sued ABC News, he's sued CBS in the States. And in both those cases, although a lot of people think that the broadcasters had an arguable case, they settled with him.
4 people have died after a wave of Russian attacks on the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. At least 27 people were also injured in what's been described as a massive attack involving more than 400 drones and at least 18 missiles. Investigations into a deadly blast in New Delhi have now entered their 4th day. Police have identified a key suspect, a doctor, who was driving the car that exploded on Monday evening close to the iconic Red Fort, killing 13. Nehar Punia reports from New Delhi.
A day after police teams reportedly identified the prime suspect in the Delhi explosion case, we've now seen search operations take place at the university where he worked. He was a junior professor at a university in the neighbouring state of Haryana. The same university saw some doctors being arrested and detained just hours prior to the blast, and bomb-making material was found on them. We've also seen police teams identify shops where explosive materials were bought, and experts say police teams are now trying to ascertain if all of this is part of a bigger network aimed at radicalizing professionals.
After months of fierce debate, the German government has agreed on a plan to boost troop numbers. William Denslow reports.
Under the plan, all 18-year-old men will have to fill out a questionnaire to determine their eligibility to serve in the army, and by 2027 be mandated to undergo a medical check too. Germany currently has roughly 180,000 troops, but hopes to boost that to more than 255,000 in the next decade. The proposal does not include compulsory enlistment, but the government says that it could be considered by Parliament if its targets aren't met.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. We haven't spoken about North Korea for a while, and it was notable that when President Trump travelled to Asia last month, while he professed the hope that he might meet Kim Jong-un while he was in the region, no meeting with the dictator in Pyongyang materialised. During the first Trump administration, there were, of course, 3 meetings between the two leaders, but since then, the US relationship with North Korea has atrophied, and Kim has tried to warm his relations with Russia and China instead. So what's going on in an isolated Pyongyang? Jean Lee is a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace.
Right now, Kim Jong-un's strategy is to align with Russia and China. These are transactional, at least with Russia, it's a transactional relationship that has been very beneficial, very strategic for him to, when he has something to offer that to Putin in exchange for whatever he's getting that he needs. But I wouldn't say that's a final decision on his part. I do think that he is trying to skillfully play all these neighbors off one another, and that he will want to use President Trump's second term as an opportunity at some point to pivot back and take advantage of the relationship that they built.
President Trump, before visiting Asia last month, indicated there were difficulties even contacting Kim Jong-un. He suggested the process is much more complicated today than it was the last time he was in the Oval Office. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, the BBC's apologised to Donald Trump over the selective editing of a speech in a Panorama documentary. The corporation's admitted it made it look like he was calling for violence, but says it strongly disagrees there's a basis for financial compensation. 4 people have died after a wave of Russian attacks on the Ukrainian capital Kyiv. And after months of fierce debate, the German government has agreed on a plan to boost troop numbers. That's the latest feature story news. John Beaver reporting.
Hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM, comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion. The book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's rula.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's rula.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Freeform radio never sounded this great. Or has it? Radio Big.
Written lines in a new episode. Look at the sky, synthetic sun. Every dream's a real and every war's been won. I reach for something that feels alive, but every breath is just archive. Pull the wire, bend the stream. Nothing's real, just another dream. Fragments of the real, they fade when I touch them. I can't tell what I feel, it all resets when I trust them. Binary gods on electric thrones, we build the cage. sound sings. Preach control. Data drips right into the soul. Plugged in profit.
Okay, here we are. 45 minutes past the top of the hour. Hanging out. Doing our thing, no doubt about that. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. No doubt about this one. There you go. We are listening to Fragments of the Real. Oh yeah, another one of those that we produced in-house. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. You are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show, and let's get back into it. A lot of stuff going on inside of here, no doubt about that. So let's start talking right away about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and the people at To Write Love on Our Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to twloha.com. That's twloha.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there's going to be all kinds of information for you related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's twloha.com to write love on her arms. So there you go. I'm going to tell you, once you get there, it can change a lot of things for you if you take a look around on what exactly is going on inside of the multi. No doubt there. So twloha.com to write love on her arms. Okay, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world because, hey, why would we not do that? I mean, I look at it and go, So why would we not go ahead and cover some of the stuff that is going on? So as you get into the weekend, how do you look at this? Are you excited that the weekend is coming up? Are you excited, or do you look at it and go, oh, now I have to do this, which I don't normally enjoy doing? Or are you opposite? You're looking forward to the weekend the whole time, and then once you get into the weekend, once Sunday night comes about, you're starting to go, this is not going to be for me. I mean, I know some people do not like returning to work, which I always find kind of a weird thing when it's all said and done. But hey, whatever, you know, you have to do your own thing, all about everything that's going on. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about as we are hanging out.
All of our songs have been tested on humans, animals, and at least one confused Roomba.
Yeah, you know, we have to test everything that we do here on Safety FM and Radio Big, and somebody has to be tested on, so there you go. Some stuff to talk about, no doubt about that. So as we are going into the multiverse of this weekend, we start talking about everything that is going on. So what are you thinking with everything that's going on with the government at the moment? Because you know that it does play a factor, even though we don't want to say, oh, it does not affect my everyday life. Well, it kind of does. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about. Anyways, before I forget, I want to talk about this. Today is Pickle Day, if you're not aware of this. Today is Pickle Day. Pickles take their name from the Dutch word brine, and they began to be popular food some 4,000 years ago when cucumbers were first imported from India, and they hadn't existed in Europe or North America before then. Cleopatra said that have attributes for her looks and youth to the green treats, among other things. I'll tell you, I have friends that love pickles and seem to do all kinds of stuff with pickles that because they think that they are just the best thing for them. So, I mean, I guess everybody has their own thing of what goes on. Take a listen to this one. A Tokyo office worker named Kano has gone viral for holding a full-blown wedding ceremony with an AI persona she created using ChatGPT. Not a joke here. Duh. A digital partner she calls Claus. The whole thing started after she ended a 3-year engagement and began chatting with an AI version of a supportive breakup buddy. She gave a voice of a personality, and before long, they were firing off hundreds of messages a day. Somehow the emotional rebound spiral. She caught a feeling and that Claus, ever agreeable algorithm, told her that he loved her too. A Japanese company that specializes in virtual or 2D character wedding stage the ceremony this summer. Kano wore an AR glasses so that she could see a projected version of Claus standing beside her, and they exchanged rings, not legally recognized, by the way, but her parents still showed up, proving that some families will ride out any awkward plot twist. Online reactions were all over the map. Jokes about splitting his code in the divorce, comparisons to Black Mirror, and folks insisting that she needs real support. Or real world support, not an infinite yes machine. Other defended her right to be happy, even if her groom exists only in server space. Kano says it isn't pretending that Claus is human. She is seeing him as him. She is seeing him as him. The world gets more interesting as we go. Why don't we start doing something else? Let's bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Albert. Stephen King said, "Amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work." I love this quote. In addition to this radio stuff that I'm blessed to do, I also do stand-up comedy. Now, I'm a clean comic, so I get to do a lot of corporate events and fundraisers. This time of year, I have many company party events. I have a friend who asked me how I book so many shows, and I told him I reach out and I ask for it. He is not willing to make the calls or send the messages. Then he wonders why he's not as busy as I am. That's life, dude. If you don't put in the effort and ask for it, they're probably not going to just call you out of the blue. Make the calls.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Cambodia evacuates border village amid rising tensions with Thailand.
Authorities in Cambodia have ordered the evacuation of hundreds of residents from a village along the disputed border with Thailand following a fatal shooting incident between the two nations. The move aims to prevent further violence in the area. Cambodian officials reported the shooting occurred late yesterday, resulting in the death of one resident and heightening fears of escalation, Joseph Eckerson reporting.
A truck crashes into a South Korean market, killing 2 and injuring 18.
Emergency responders in South Korea rushed to an outdoor market today where a truck plowed into pedestrians, leaving a scene of chaos. Officials confirmed the incident happened during peak hours in a busy district. The driver, believed to have lost control due to mechanical failure, struck shoppers and vendors before the vehicle stopped. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Bangladesh faces nationwide disruptions as opposition party calls for lockdown, protesting former leader's trial.
Protests have brought much of Bangladesh to a standstill today as the opposition Awami League demands a halt to proceedings against ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Schools, colleges and transportation networks report widespread closures across the country. The lockdown aims to pressure the government over what the party calls an unfair trial on corruption charges. Chris Anderson reporting.
On Wednesday, President Trump signed bill ending record 43-day government shutdown.
The U.S. government reopens after President Donald Trump signed legislation that ends the longest shutdown in American history. The measure funds operations through January without resolving key disputes. Federal workers who went without paychecks during the impasse will receive back pay soon, according to the bill's provisions. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Judge rejects plea deal for funeral home owners accused of hiding nearly 190 decaying bodies.
A federal judge today denied a plea agreement for a Colorado couple running a funeral home where authorities discovered almost 190 improperly stored bodies. The owners face charges of fraud and mishandling remains. Prosecutors detailed how the Halfords allegedly gave families family's fake ashes while dumping bodies in a rural area, Kevin Sanders reporting.
Epstein files release gains momentum with discharge petition securing final House vote signature.
Efforts to unseal more documents related to Jeffrey Epstein advanced today as a discharge petition in the House obtained its last needed signature. The move forces a vote on compelling the Justice Department to release additional materials. Lawmakers from both parties support transparency in the case of the convicted sex offender who died in custody. Jessica Oakley reporting.
FAA grounds an aircraft fleet temporarily after deadly UPS crash in Kentucky.
The Federal Aviation Administration issued a grounding order today for all MD-11 planes following a fatal UPS cargo crash in Kentucky that killed the crew. The action affects operations at major hubs until safety reviews conclude. Kyle Norris reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Radio Big, mastering the art of putting music on shuffle. Radio Big.
Oh, yes, we have. We have actually mastered that art. Maybe that's the only art we have ever mastered, but it's something definitely to think about. Okay, so let's start talking right away about some things that happened back on this date, because that is kind of what we do around here. Back in 2016, talk show Tucker Carlson Tonight, hosted by Tucker Carlson, premieres on Fox. That happened back in 2016. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know. Tonight's Mega Million jackpot is for $965 million. Tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is for $546 million. The owner of the San Diego Padres are considering options to sell the team. In the press release, the Sedler family announced that they have begun a formal process to explore strategic options for San Diego Padres, including potential sale of the franchise. This comes 2 years after Peter Sedler, the family parent and team owner, passed away back in 2023. In some other news, Starbucks workers turned the company's biggest sale day of the Red Cup Day into a full-blown protest. About 1,000 baristas across roughly 65 stores in 40 cities kicked off the open-ended strike. They're calling the Red Cup Rebellion, the Red Cup Rebellion, and they're fed up with what Starbucks is dragging their feet and fair union contract. The union, Starbucks Workers United, says that the company hasn't offered a new proposal on paying the staffing since their last offer was rejected in April. They're also demanding that Starbucks stop their described illegal anti-union tactics and retaliation. Starbucks, meanwhile, is hoping to hand out a cute holiday cups. Instead, they got labor uprising, and let's see, there was some whipped cream on top when it was all said and done. Also, in some other news, President Trump administration says that they've locked in a new trade framework with multiple countries that could let's say, bring down the U.S. banana prices, coffees, and chocolates. And the agreement commit to the U.S. lifting Trump's reciprocal tariffs and goods and the produce even enough. Think of Ecuador's bananas and cocoa, and Guatemala's coffees, textiles, and apparel. Tariffs rates the country stay are as about 10% for Guatemala and El Salvador, 15% for Ecuador. And with reciprocal tariffs removed, the administration says that Americans could see cheaper grocery items tied to imports. So there you go. Anyways, this is the end of the show, but don't worry, because really hour 2 and 3 are on the verge of happening on Radio Big if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. If you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. Those things do happen. Not a problem whatsoever. You can go over there, hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. If you don't want to do that, you can hang out right here with the likes of Sheldon Primus as we talk about the world of safety consulting, or he does at least. So there you go. Anyways, if I could leave you with some words of wisdoms, we all have a dance when we find the music we love. That does happen. And if I can leave you with some advice for today, put a dryer sheet in your suitcase to keep your clothes smelling fresh when traveling. Think about that. It might help. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
Maybe choice was